the prayer Sahana Avavatu.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 13. We'll chant verses 5 to 10.
Rishibhir bahudha geetam Chandobhir vividhaih prithak Brahma sutra padaishchaiva Hetumadbhir vinishchitaihi Mahabhutanyahankaraha Buddhiravyaktameva cha Indriyani dashaikam cha Panchachendriya gocharaha Ichha dvesha sukham dukkham Sanghataschetana dhritihi Etat kshetram samasena Savikaramudahritam. Amanitvamadambhitvam Ahimsa kshantirajabam Acharyopasanam shaucham Sthairyamaatma vinigraha Indriyartheshu vairagyam Anahankara evacha Janma mrityu jara vyadhihi Dukkha doshanudarshanam Asaktiranabhishvangaha Putradara grihadishu Nityam cha samachittatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu.
So last week we started with the study of quality number 7, purity. Shaucham. Shaucham is a Sanskrit word. It means purity. Now we can understand this concept from relative level and absolute level. Number one, and what is the practical application of this as far as you and I are concerned as a seeker? So the state of perfection is described as a state of desirelessness in all the scriptures. Because state of divinity means it has no desires. Human being minus desires is divinity, the state of self-realization or God realization. So therefore, state of absolute perfection is a state of desirelessness. It's like a pure sample of gold, 100% gold. So even if you add 1% silver in that, though silver on its own is precious, it's a precious metal. But when you mix it with pure sample of gold, the pure sample of gold is not 100% pure anymore. So you may entertain a very noble desire that you want to uplift the world. You genuinely think about others. All these are noble desires. There is no doubt about that. But from absolute level, you still remain pegged down to the terrestrial world. But from relative level, might as well have unselfish desires. Therefore, I said, We are going to study this quality from absolute level and relative level. Of course, Bhagavad Gita talks from absolute level, but it is easy for us to understand it from our level, and then we can project it to the absolute level. So, what makes us impure is our desires. Why are we saying that? Because absolute state of perfection is described as a state of desirelessness. So, therefore, as a seeker, we all should be focused on removing our desires. So, we need to find out where we are. Can we have that PowerPoint, Makran? It's a very useful PowerPoint. Now, the top of the pyramid is a state of desirelessness. Bottom of the pyramid is a state of complete ignorance. So, a person who is totally ignorant, such a person would be at the bottom of the pyramid of desires. Understood? So, what is this bottom of the pyramid? That such a person is full of desires, maximum desires. And also, the quality of desires is quite low. All the desires are egocentric, selfish desires because of ignorance. So, this is a state of maximum impurity. So, when any person is inundated with low quality desires, selfish desires, what is the price you pay? What is the effect of these desires? Such a person would go through a state of almost constant mental agitations, worry and anxiety, stress, and whatnot. But as you evolve spiritually, this is the definition of spiritual evolution, you start offloading your desires with this knowledge, with spiritual practices. Understood? So your desires become relatively less. So that is the next level of pyramid. So the quality drops, rather the quantity drops, and the quality of your desires improves. So you start thinking about others, you become relatively unselfish. So, what is the effect when you offload your selfish desires? You are less agitated compared to a person who is full of mental agitations, who has a lot of selfish desires. Like this, you can slowly project your growth to the top of the pyramid. So a highly evolved person has got only handful of desires. The only desire could be towards the end of your spiritual journey, I want to merge with the supreme reality. It's almost a state of zero agitations, you can say. And when the last desire is eliminated, you reach a state of self realization, God realization. It's a state of divinity. You become one with divinity. So it is a state of no agitations at all because all the desires have been eliminated. Another practical point is as you start offloading your desires, you become more dynamic, at the same time peaceful. I'm trying to explain to you the practical application of this because some people they don't understand what will happen if I work on my desires. See, you and person could be very active, person could be very dynamic, but also full of mental agitations. So the moment you plunge into action, you're not peaceful. The moment you stay away from the action, you are peaceful. This is our experience because of our own desires. So as you start offloading your desires, you become more objective, you become more dynamic. At the same time, you are peaceful. So that combination is not easy to achieve. We all want to reach that state. So, as you start removing your desires, offloading your desires, number one, you become more peaceful. Also, you become more dynamic. So, what prevents you from being dynamic is your own selfish, egocentric desires. And then, of course, when all the desires are gone, you reach a state of spiritual enlightenment. So, your mission in life is to keep on improving the quality of your desires. The other way to explain this is you have to keep on improving the quality of your actions, emotions, and thoughts. That is spiritual life. It's a very easy definition of spirituality. It doesn't matter what role you are playing, wherever you are in life. You have to keep on improving the quality of your actions, quality of your emotions, and the quality of your thoughts. So, if somebody is at the bottom of this pyramid, full of selfish, egocentric desires, what will be the quality of actions, emotions, and thoughts? Are you getting the thought flow? The actions will be purely self-centered, emotions will be selfish, thoughts will be selfish. So such a person functions in life, whether at home, at work, in the society, in the community, only with the intention of what can I get out of anything. In a relationship to begin with, what can I get out of my spouse? Instead of saying, what can I do? How can I do my duties? The language is, I have my rights, I have my rights. It's a typical example of somebody who is at the bottom of the pyramid. So, being spiritual means improving the quality of your actions, emotions, and thoughts. And from time to time, we all are seekers, we all are exposed to this knowledge. You have to check the quality of your actions, feelings, emotions, and thoughts. Am I slipping into selfish actions? Am I entertaining selfish emotions? Am I entertaining self-centered thoughts? If you are, what is the effect of selfish action, feeling, and thought? See, the whole thing is based on cause and effect. I already explained that. So, how do you find out the quality of your action, emotion, and thought? If thoughts are, if actions are selfish, emotions are selfish, thoughts are selfish, what will be the effect of such actions, emotions, and thoughts?
More
You'll be very
agitation.
agitated.
More agitations, more worry, more anxiety, more stress. So, the stress you are going through, if it is consistently happening to you, full of worry, anxiety, mental agitations, conflicts, confrontations with others for no rhyme and reason sometimes, it is because you are at the bottom of the pyramid. So your desires are quite selfish. Therefore, your actions, your emotions, and your thoughts are selfish. So this is how you correct yourself. And it's a lifelong process. Self purification is a lifelong process. It never ends, or it ends only when you reach a state of self realization. So it's a lifelong journey. Another important point is as quality of your desires improves, your lower desires drop off. As you get established in the higher values of life, again you go back to that pyramid of desires. If somebody is established at level 2, I think that person is relatively established in the knowledge of the scriptures, the values of the scriptures. So as you get established in the higher values, to the extent you get established in the higher values, to that extent your lower desires drop off. you don't have to really worry about what will happen to my selfish desires. Yes, you have to be focused on gaining the knowledge and applying this knowledge in your day-to-day life. That is spiritual path all about. And as you get established in the higher values, slowly but surely, your lower or self-centered desires will drop off. So, therefore, in conclusion, we say purification is a lifelong process. Shaucham, purity. Next quality, quality number 8, is called as therium. Therium meaning steadfastness. Are you consistent in a spiritual path? Now, your goal could be relative, your goal could be absolute. The principle is same. Like absolute consistency is you're focused on achieving the ultimate purpose of life. I want to know my identity. I want to reach the ultimate state of enlightenment, nothing else. And you channel your entire life, your actions, your emotions, your thoughts to reach that state. You are consistent in your pursuit. You don't falter, no excuses, nothing. But also, you could have a relative goal, which is easy to understand. A relative goal could be I want to attend this Vedanta class once a week. That itself is not easy because most people are ignorant. So it could be your goal. And doesn't matter wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you make sure that you are consistent. And I will not miss that class. Or even if you miss, thanks to the technology, like you can listen to the recordings. We keep on getting so many requests. It's nice to see. Like, I missed my lecture. Can I have access to the recordings? So it's a clear indication that such a person is steadfast in his or her pursuit in spiritual goal. And once you get that fixation, I repeat, fixation could be relative, fixation could be absolute. So once you get that fixation, you channel your physical, emotional, and intellectual energy to achieve that goal. If you don't have the fixation, why would you channel your physical, emotional, intellectual energy or activities to achieve that goal? Isn't it? And this applies not only in the spiritual path, in any facet of life. Somebody who is focused on his or her career, you have a goal. Yes, I want to become, I don't know, head of my department, or I want to become a CEO of my company, whatever is your goal. So once you have that fixation, will you not channel your activities to achieve that goal? Somebody invites you for a party, it's not that you won't go. But if party drags on till 1 o'clock, next day, 6 o'clock, I have to go to the office, or 7 o'clock, I have to be in the office. So you navigate your life around all this. So in that sense, we are using the word you channel your physical, emotional, and intellectual activities to achieve that goal. This is how you get that consistency. See, I don't know how many of you know about this formula driving, F1 driving. We see all these Grand Prix and all that. It's fascinating the way they are trained. At the age of maybe 10, 12, whatever, like 14, 15, that boy or a girl gets that fixation. Yes, I want to become F1 driver. And the entire process can take anywhere between 10 to 12 years, 14 years. It's not easy. It is tremendous training involved in that. So how do you get that consistency? Only when you get that fixation. I'm talking about day-to-day example. So similarly, how do you get the fixation in the spiritual path, without which you cannot be consistent? Are you getting the thought flow? See, it's very easy to say be consistent, but either you are consistent or you're not consistent. If you're not consistent, you will give all the excuses in the world, and every excuse looks very legitimate. What to do? My friend came, and therefore I missed 2 3 classes. Should I not spend time with my friends? Of course you should. It is summer. I live in Michigan. Only 2 months, 3 months. Okay, I get to play golf. Should I not play golf? Of course you should play golf. Then there is Labor Day weekend. Then there is Memorial Day. Then there is Christmas. Then there is Diwali. Should I not spend time with my friends? Of course you should. So you will convince everybody that no, this is the reason I cannot be consistent. So nobody can make you consistent. I'm not talking about spiritual path, any part of life, but obviously in this context, we are talking about spiritual path. So to be consistent, what you need is a fixation on your goal, relative absolute. So my question is, how do you get fixation in the spiritual path so that you can be consistent? Is question clear? It's very easy to say, okay, sthairyam, consistency. I have to be steadfast in spiritual path. We all understand that. But to be consistent, I need a fixation. So how do I get that fixation? Why should I follow spiritual path? Why should I be spiritual to begin with?
Well, I
How
think
do you get that fixation?
once I have gotten my own sensations and sensations in line, then I treat other people the same way, and that's being consistent.
Yes.
Amitji, one way would be to read your goals daily, maybe write it down and read them daily, and then also remind yourself that if you're not following your goals, what kind of agitations have gotten you into so positive and negative reaffirm.
Yes, definitely. You're not wrong. But why would I set a goal? Why would I, do whatever you said just now?
I
Go
have a
through it, remind
conviction.
myself.
I have a conviction.
That's the whole point. How do you, fixation, conviction is one and the same thing. How do you get that fixation? How do you get that conviction?
I think that if you have a bite of an apple, the apple tastes so good that you want to have some more. And the same way with spiritual practice, I think at some point you feel better by doing your spiritual practice. So you want to continue.
Yeah, why not? What is it which makes me follow the spiritual path? How do I get that fixation?
You
I
channeling
think
your
like
thoughts, actions, and emotions in that direction.
Yes, Rachel?
Channeling all your thoughts, actions, and emotions in that direction. That or wherever your thoughts, actions, and emotions are going, that's where you're going to be fixated on. So you have to be mindful of your thoughts, your motives behind your actions, and if you're acting in emotion or not. And just like others say, to have a goal and go in that direction with your thoughts, actions, and emotions.
See, you're not wrong. What you're doing is you're describing consistency. My point is, see, we are trying to go backward. To be consistent, you have to have that conviction or fixation. We understand that, correct? So how do I get that fixation to follow a spiritual path? Unless I am convinced, there is no way I can be consistent in my efforts as a seeker. So the whole point is, how do I get that fixation? How do I get that conviction?
Intellect,
I have to follow a spiritual path.
intellect
Ramya has
controlling the
raised her
mind.
hand. Ramya.
Yeah, I think it's like, you ultimately you want peace and happiness, right? So I think
Mhm.
if you just like, if you want peace and happiness, so when you know that spirituality and Vedanta is going to give you that peace and happiness,
Mhm.
that's your singular path to like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to be peaceful, I'm going to be happy. And that's what everybody is seeking for. So I think that's a very strong motivation for you to like fix yourself.
Yeah, correct. Very good. Excellent. Veera, you had an answer?
Yeah, intellect controlling the mind, Amaji.
Which is an effect. When you consistently follow spiritual path, that is a state you reach. That where you develop the strong intellect, and that intellect consistently controls your mind. But why should I put efforts to develop my intellect? The whole world is mind-led. That's the point. So I think Ramaya has given the answer. I mean, have I understood the purpose of my life? It is as simple as that. What is the purpose of life? It doesn't matter what you're doing. We all are looking for what? Wherever you are, whatever you are, you are a man or a woman, poor or rich or powerful person, whatever. We all are looking for what?
Our purpose.
Peace, happiness. So how do I get that peace? Only when I follow the spiritual path. Scriptures, they give us a technique by which we can be happy, we can be peaceful, irrespective of what is happening in the external world. We all want that. Otherwise, you have all the money in the world, you have all the power in the world, everything is there, but you're not peaceful end of the day. I mean, what kind of a life is that? So we all are looking for peace, happiness, use any word. All these are synonyms, contentment, fulfillment in life. So how do I get that? Life has to go on wherever you are. Each one is different. We all have different talents, but we all are looking for that peace or happiness. So once you understand that, and then where do you find that peace? Through the knowledge of the scriptures. And if you stretch it to the absolute level, I need to find out what's my ultimate purpose in life, what's my identity. I am that truth, I am that divinity. All the scriptures, they are telling that to us. So I have to find out my identity. So once you understand that, once you understand this is my purpose in life, you get that fixation, you get that conviction. And once you get that conviction, once you get that fixation, what happens?
Consistency.
Automatically you will be consistent. So consistency is the effect. Effect of what?
Of conviction.
Consistency is the effect of conviction. And how do you get that conviction? See, same question I am throwing at you in a different way so that you understand. Consistency is the effect. It is the effect of
Wanting peace and happiness.
Conviction.
conviction. And how do you get that conviction to follow spiritual path?
By seeking your purpose.
By understanding the purpose of life. See, otherwise, why would you put efforts to purify yourself? If you go back to the previous quality, we talked about purification. Purification is what? You have to go on improving the quality of your desires, and ultimately you have to eliminate your desires. That is purification. But why would you put efforts to purify your personality? Why would you put efforts to reduce your desires? In fact, the whole world, most people, they are increasing their desires. So therefore, once you get that conviction, which is a product of you understood the purpose of your life, automatically you will be consistent in a spiritual path. So all of them are interconnected. I hope you are getting the thought flow. So that was quality number 8. Next quality of a jnani, of a wise person, is self-control. Atma vinigraha, meaning self-control. Avoiding such activities which obstruct your spiritual goal. It's very simple. Refraining from, avoiding, staying away from, soft pedaling, use any word. Avoiding such activities which hinder your spiritual growth according to you. If I say this is coming in your way to evolve spiritually, it's not going to help. It may help me, but you're not going to accept what I'm saying. So again, do you have fixation on a goal? Do you have that conviction to follow your goal? If answer is yes, no explanation is necessary of self-control. If I tell you live a life of self-control, be disciplined, then what does it mean? It means nothing to you. So to practice self-control, to live a disciplined life, what is it which is required? You have to have a goal. And that goal is set by who? Spiritual goal we are talking about. That goal is set by who?
You,
By you. Based on what?
your conviction.
Your conviction. You understood the purpose of your life. So therefore you stay away from such activities, or you are careful, you are aware that certain activities they may they hinder my spiritual growth. So that is a very definition of self-control. Otherwise, nobody can practice self-control. For what? And which is often misunderstood as self-denial. You have to understand this point. Self-control is not self-denial. It is command on your senses. It is a mastery on your senses. See, it's not that you should not contact the sense objects. So the moment you feel your sensual activities, your material activities, they are coming in a way of your spiritual growth, you soft pedal on such activities, which ignorant people, they misunderstand as self-denial. You can't deny yourself anything really, unless you have a powerful goal. So if you misunderstand self-control as self-denial, then you will frustrate yourself. This is what happens to people who are misunderstood. And when you take it beyond, when your misunderstanding is, you're really confused, then you end up becoming a caricature. Most of us will end up frustrating ourselves once in a while. But if you have really misunderstood the concept of self-control, I cannot contact this, I cannot contact, I can't do this, I can't do that. And if you stretch it beyond a point, you will end up becoming a caricature. You will end up becoming a caricature. You will end up becoming a misfit in the society. That's what happens to a lot of spiritual, so-called spiritual or religious people who have misunderstood the quality of self-control. So you take a stance of a Christ. Get thee behind me, Satan. What is this Satan? There is no person called as Satan. Satan meaning sense objects. So when sense objects, they start interfering with your spiritual goal, you tell them, no, get thee behind me. Yes, I want to play golf. Mr. Golf is Mr. Satan in this context. Mr. Golf, I will attend a class and then, yes, then I will meet you. Then we'll wine and dine. I mean, what's wrong with that? But don't come and tempt me between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. You have to be clear to him. He may not understand Eastern time, Pacific time, and all that.
The
So-
things that you're saying ring a bell to me. I work with a lot of people that are very unprofessional in their language. And sometimes they say, does that bother you? I says, well, no, if that's the only way you can express yourself. But if you can think of other words that doesn't show your ignorance, I'll listen to it. And so I hope that rubs off on other people.
Right. See, another way to explain self-control is a slightly technical explanation, but it makes it complete. That we all have 5 organs of perception. We keep on saying this from time to time. Every human being has eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. You all understand that. So these are 5 organs of perception. And there is a natural tendency, if you have a desire, they will be drawn to the sense objects. See, I repeat, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. These are the 5 organs of perception. Also, we say the senses. We have these 5 organs of perception. And they are drawn towards the sense objects, color and form for the eyes, sound for the ears, smell for the nose, taste for the tongue, and touch for the skin. So stimuli from sense objects will keep on bombarding you. There is a 30% discount at Macy's. There is a 50% discount at Macy's. So Patagonia is offering end of the year discount. I'm giving you a simple example. So you will be bombarded with this stimuli. Last minute cruise deal. You can save $2,000. It's not that you should not go on a cruise. But if it is interfering with your goal, then you use your intellect and then you say no. But if intellect is weak, you will succumb to that particular sense stimuli. Are you getting the whole thing? You can see on the screen. What is that mechanism of self-control? So we all have 5 sense organs. They are called as organs of perception: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And they are corresponding sense objects. World is nothing but sense objects. Objects and beings of the world is nothing but a sense objects. So you keep on receiving stimuli from the sense objects, which you can't stop. So only when you have a powerful intellect, you can supervise that particular stimuli. You can examine that particular stimuli. And if necessary, you go ahead. It's not that you say no all the time. Your friend invites you for a golf. It's not that you have to say no. But whether it is interfering with my goal, spiritual goal in this context, if it is interfering, you use the intellect and you say no. But if intellect is not powerful, your mind is drawn to these sense objects. So what controls the mind, what controls the senses is a powerful intellect. So whole life you will face this. There will be push from within, there will be pull from outside. Senses, objects and beings of the world, they will keep on attracting you. That's what we mean by pull. And your mind and senses will be drawn towards these sense objects because you have a desire. If you don't have a desire, then you won't be drawn towards the sense objects. So what is self-control? What is that mechanism of self-control? So when you receive a particular stimuli, take any example, 40% discount Macy's is offering. It's not that you should not go for it. But just because they are offering a discount, I have to go and buy another winter coat when I already have 10 winter coats. You get the point? So, to conclude, self-control is not self-denial. It is a mastery on the senses. Number one. Number two, if you keep on contacting sense objects indiscriminately, your desires for the sense objects further increases. If you use your intellect, then your desires are coming under control. But if you succumb to the mind, we are using the word discriminate and indiscriminate in that context. So you again take the shopping example, 30%, 40% discount. Mind is drawn towards that particular deal. But if your intellect comes to the picture and you say, hey, it makes sense. The $250 product, winter coat, I'm getting for $120 and I've been waiting for a good deal. It's okay. So your desire is supervised by
Your
intellect. So it converges. But if it is mind-based action, just because there is a discount, you go and you buy it impulsively, as it is, there is a desire. And since it is not supervised by the intellect, what happens to your desire?
It goes on increasing.
It goes on increasing. Well, any desire, if it is backed by mind, it will increase. The moment that desire comes under the supervision of the intellect, what will happen?
It's controlled.
It is controlled. The thought flow starts converging as opposed to diverging. So indiscriminate contact with the sense objects increases your desire for the sense objects and you go in the opposite direction. When I say opposite direction, if this is divinity, this is world, innocently you are going in which direction? Whole life. This is happening to all of us. It's a question of more or less. But now with this explanation, we understand. Innocently, due to ignorance, we keep on entertaining desires for the objects and beings of the world. Because intellect is weak. So you end up adding more desires. And the purpose of life, mission of life is to what? To reduce our desires, eventually eliminate our desires. So you end up going in the wrong direction whole life. Therefore, you should have a goal. Again, coming back to the same point. See, all of them are interconnected. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a fixation, why would you practice self-control? Nobody can convince you to practice self-control. Be a disciplined person. For what? The whole world is indulgent. Most people are indulgent. So to purify your personality, to practice self-control, what you need is that goal, that fixation, and that fixation comes from, we discussed 10 times today at least.
Conviction.
Fixation comes from conviction. Conviction comes from
Learning your purpose in life.
excellent. At least one person has understood. That is Rachel. I don't know about others. One person has understood. And then next quality number 10. Is that in the next verse? Verse number 9, right, Radha?
Yes, Amity.
Yeah, so let's chant verse number 9.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधिः दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा मृत्युजराव्याधिः दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्.
Dispassion towards sense objects and also absence of egoism, perception of pain and evil of birth, disease, old age, and death. So, verse number 9 gives three more qualities. So, we'll study them one by one. So, the quality number 10 is dispassion towards sense objects. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. That word vairagya is quite famous. Most Indians, they would know it. How do you get that vairagya? How do you get the dispassion towards sense objects? So, dispassion towards sense objects is a state. Self control is a practice. Do you get the difference? You can't practice dispassion towards sense objects. How can you do that? It's like telling a child, be dispassionate about the toy world. It's like telling a teenager, be dispassionate. No, why are you playing video games? So therefore, dispassion towards sense objects is a state, but self-control is a practice. So it is a self-control which eventually takes you towards the state of dispassion towards the sense objects. That's the difference. When you are established in the higher values of life, this is what we are studying here, scriptures. You have no value for what world has to offer, or you have right value for what world has to offer. Wealth is a commodity which is necessary. Yes or no? Is wealth necessary in life?
Yes.
Any person who says no, he is living in delusion, right? And those who have misunderstood scriptures, the first symptom is they say wealth is not required. It is, even to eat, wealth is required. How can you survive? If you want to buy water, you want to pay your utilities. How can you survive without wealth? So wealth is a commodity which is necessary for our sustenance. This is the right value. You understood the value of wealth. But the moment you feel wealth can give me happiness, wealth can give me contentment, wealth can give me fulfillment, then you have misunderstood what is wealth. So therefore, when you are established in the higher values, I'm giving you a simple example so that you can understand from practical point of view. You have right value for what world has to offer. We discussed wealth as one example. You may have all the power in the world, but you have no value for it. See, therefore, traditionally, this knowledge, good many of these masters who gave out the knowledge of Vedanta Upanishad, they were kings. We call them Raja Rishis. So they had all the wealth in the world, they had all the power in the world, but they had no value for power and wealth. Only such a person is fit to rule the whole world. Who is a Krishna? Krishna is not a monk, right? Many of the Upanishadic masters, they were emperors. Lord Rama was an emperor. But they had no value for wealth, they had no value for power, meaning what the world has to offer. So how do you reach that state? Dispassion towards what world has to offer. Only when you are established in the higher values of life. We all are dispassionate towards the toy world, isn't it? So even when you play with children, with the toys, you can't say you don't enjoy, but internally what value you have for the toy world? If you lose a game of, I don't know, with children, whatever you are playing, snakes and ladder, you are playing with your children or grandchildren, and you lose very badly. Your 5-year-old grandson or a granddaughter beats you hollow. Absolutely. You don't know what is snakes and ladder. Internally, how do you feel? If you are grown up, and you are grown up, that's the assumption. Internally, how do you feel?
Still
Happy.
at peace.
Hmm?
Still at peace.
Yeah, would you post it on the social media? Hey, I beat my grandson in snakes and ladder. Hey, announcing the whole world. What's the big deal? Or you lose very badly, or win. Either you win or you lose. You lose miserably, or you win. You beat your grandson. 0-100 score. Would you post it on the social media?
The goal is no. The goal is to play with them
Zero
and
value
have good
because you have
time,
zero
not to
value.
win or lose. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
Yeah.
But how? How? Because you have no value for that. You are, as an adult, you have grown. So similarly, you may have best of everything, may not have at times, but you have no value for what world has to offer. You may have all the wealth in the world. Why not? You could be quite well-to-do, a rich person, but you have no value. You may have power, you may not have power. Internally, you don't care. So how do you reach that state of dispassion is only when you are established in the higher values of life. But ignorant people, they are passionate about the objects and beings of the world. I'm going to explain what that word passionate means. Otherwise, it could be misunderstood. Meaning, you get excited when you contact the world. When you acquire objects and beings of the world, when you have black market value for them, you get excited or super excited. So that passion for the sense objects is any kind of a feeling by which your mind is powerfully affected or moved. It is an overpowering emotion, eager outreaching of mind towards something, craving for what world has to offer. This may be the easiest explanation. In that sense, we are using the word passion. Sometimes you see it on the TV, there are some games and somebody wins, I don't know, a dishwasher, the latest model of dishwasher, and they go crazy. They start jumping. Yeah, what is dishwasher? Yes, fine. You feel happy. It's a black market value for a dishwasher. Oh, fine. You have won a trip for two, in a Fort, I don't know, Florida, and you can take your friend with you and whatnot. You can stay there in Hilton. Everything is fully paid for. People start screaming and yelling and whatnot. So they have that black market value. It's like you winning snakes and ladder and start jumping and screaming and yelling. There are a lot of people. There's some channels where they show the lifestyle of rich and famous. I don't know. It's fascinating to see. Long time back, maybe 15 years back, like one of my class members, they bought a house in Florida, and they said no, you had to go and stay there for whatever 3-4 days, 5 days. So I took my wife, and we went to various places in Florida. So Fort Lauderdale, I still remember. We took that taxi tour or whatever they call it. For 1 or 2 hours, they take you. And they used to point out the house. This house belongs to, I don't know, Bill Clinton, the ex-president. This house belongs to whoever. Veera Raghavan, the famous corporate, CEO of whatever company. This house belongs to the famous actor. And people are there screaming, oh, wow. I mean, you may enjoy as a house. I mean, why not? It's a nice property. But that black market value. Are you with me? So dispassion comes when you have understood the hollowness of what world has to offer. Otherwise, it's not possible. Vairagya is a very good word to learn. Vairagya comes, dispassion comes. It is, I repeat, it's a state. When you have understood the hollowness of what world has to offer, world cannot offer you happiness. It's a misconception. Objects and beings of the world cannot offer you happiness. There is no happiness in the objects and beings of the world. So you have understood that. So when you understand that, you may have best of things, you may have worst of things. It does not make any difference to you. Number one. Number two, you cannot carry anything with you. It's not possible. You may have all the money in the world, you may have all the power in the world, you may have all the status in the world. There is absolutely nothing, meaning nothing you can carry with you. You have come alone in this world, you have to live alone from this world. You may have all the best of best collection in your wardrobe, but when you die, you can't even carry a $5 shirt bought in Costco with you. Forget about all the branded clothes with you. You may have best of the house on the lake, 25,000 square feet. Incidentally, you may have that. Why not? Not even the single blade of grass from that beautiful house in that garden you can carry with you. The only thing you can carry with you is this knowledge, the growth of your mind and intellect. That's the only thing you can carry with you. This is how you develop that dispassion. I'm giving the techniques by which you can understand what is that dispassion. Another technique of developing dispassion might help is sense objects are described as wombs of sorrow. In Bhagavad Gita, beautifully they describe. It is wombs of sorrow. Meaning when you indulge, you don't understand what is in store for you. For example, you have weakness for eating and you go on indulging in eating spicy food or oily food or whatever. What will happen eventually? It's not eventually, soon it will happen, but eventually it will happen. If you go on indulging in food, you have a sweet tooth, you go on indulging in it. You have a desire for drinking alcohol and you go on indulging in it. Once in a while you have, it's okay. But if you go on indulging in it, what will happen?
What will happen is your health will decrease.
You pay the price. So this is how you become dispassionate. You understand, fine, it's okay to contact. I like to have whatever. Burger in McDonald's once in a while. It is good. You can't deny that, Or Burger King. We all love that. What is that? Whopper, which is vegan, But if you morning and night you keep on having that as your diet, what will happen? You like that chocolate pudding once in a while. Why not? If you go on eating that chocolate pudding day in and day out, what will happen? Ice cream is okay. It's fun. Today, Makaran's kids, they are put up a stall in Troy, I think, I don't know, Radha is trying to take Veera because he denied ice cream, poor fellow, At least, yeah, I mean, the wife has misunderstood the concept of self-control. It's self-denial. This is what we learn. I mean, we end up all, if you deny ice cream to me, I also will become a caricature. Once in a while it's okay, isn't it? So this is how you educate yourself. That sense objects are wombs of sorrow. If you keep on hoarding wealth, what will happen? Where wealth accumulates, men decay. You can go on multiplying examples. So therefore we say dispassion towards sense objects is a what?
State.
It's a state. And how do you reach that state? When you are established in higher values. This is what we are learning here. And once you are established in the higher values, I mean, how does it matter? Whether you contact or not, it doesn't matter. You want to go on a cruise once in a while, you want to experience that, it's okay. Which is different from your life revolves around cruise. There are people who, I mean, I know at least 20, 25 cruises they have experienced. And it will continue till they die. It's not going to make any difference. It has got that black market value. So, what helps you to become dispassionate towards sense object, what practice takes you there is self-control. It's one of the tools, but ultimately it is your knowledge of the scriptures which will make you dispassionate towards what world has to offer. And such a person could be the king of the world. He may possess all the money in the world, all the power in the world. He has no value. So one such person is the author of the book, the Lord Krishna, whom we are studying. He had all the wealth, power in the world, zero value for what world had to offer. It's a fascinating quality. So that's the sign of knowledge in a person. Therefore, it is called as jnani, wise person. So, remaining two qualities from verse number 9 will continue next week. So, quality number 9, rather 11, is absence of egoism, anahankara. Ahankara is ego, absence of egoism. And 12th quality is perception of pain and evil of birth, death, old age, and disease. You have to understand this. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated in life when you face challenges. Life means challenges. That is their assessment. That is quality number 12. So we'll continue next week. So let's conclude for today. If anybody has a quick question, I can give you the couple of minutes. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. We have Sunday class, governing business and relationships. And this Wednesday, we have question and answer session, Radha, isn't it? This Wednesday and next, which is 5th and 12th. So all of you will get an email.
Yes, Amit.
So any quick question from what we studied today?
So
All
you had
clear?
asked a question, do we need wealth?
Sorry?
And of course, one person, you had asked the question, do we need wealth? And
Mhm.
one person answered, yes, we do. And of course, all of us think that. But I hesitated for a second. We need money, but not wealth. That's where I was kind of like pausing to answer that. So, of course, you need money to run your life, but wealth to me is having access. Like, yes, I need my paycheck. I would love it if it doubled, but I don't need to become Elon Musk because what do you do with $1 trillion? So there is a difference in that too. Is like, do we need wealth? We don't need wealth.
Money and wealth, they are
Even if we
synonyms. You're
detach our
complicating. You're complicating.
okay.
Unnecessary, you're complicating. You use whatever word appeals to you. To sustain yourself, you need money. To sustain yourself, you need wealth. Period. Why complicate unnecessarily?
So, but is there a so I can have money and detach myself from it. It can come, it can go, and it is what it is. But is there some I only need what I need, and even if I detached myself from having $1 trillion, it's not good to have $1 trillion.
No, no. On what basis you're saying you're not good to have $1 trillion? That shows attachment to wealth. You want to reach that state, $1 trillion state, and then you want to dismiss. I don't need $1 trillion. On what basis you are saying you don't need trillion dollars? I mean, maybe let's say Krishna, Rama, all these masters, they were like, in today's language, billionaires. They had no value for wealth. If you have no value for wealth, why would you chase it? Why would you reject it?
Yeah, I
The,
think you
the
answered that. I
person
wouldn't
who
chase
rejects
it.
wealth shows that he has value for wealth. It's a clear
I gotcha.
indication. You have it, you fine. You don't have it, you're fine. I mean, since you're from Indian background, you know Sudama and Krishna. Therefore, that story they gave. Sudama was a pauper. He had no value for wealth. Krishna had all the wealth in the world, all the money in the world. He had no value for money. So
Thank you.
they are synonyms. Whether you have it, fine. Whether you don't have it, is fine. But having said that, wealth is a commodity which is required to sustain. Otherwise, how will you buy food? How will you manage yourself? So it has a role. Wealth has a role.
Sure.
So only with knowledge you understand wealth has X amount of value, but not black market value. I get your point. Otherwise, there is no end to it. So you earn X amount of money, you want X plus 10. Are you going to be happy? You earn X plus 10, you want X plus 10 plus 10. It goes on and on and on. So that's the analysis.
Thank you.
Yes, Manika had a question.
I think you covered it. That's why I lowered my hand. Thank you.
Okay.
Amitji, is self-control like muscle training? Like the more you practice, the more you start developing that sort of dispassion?
No, it is intellectual quality. Mechanically, how can you practice first of all? It is your intellect which is controlling the mind. Can you show that chart again of self-control? So if you are tempted by, let's say, color and form, that discount, you take 30% discount. So your mind is drawn towards that. So only when your intellect comes into the picture, educates your mind, you are practicing self-control. So self-control is intellect controlling your mind and the senses. That's the definition of self-control.
Thanks, Amitji. Yeah, that this one makes it clear.
All right, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Amitji.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Amaji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, all of you.